Hi everybody, this is Felicia, and I have been meaning to give a bullet journal video. Now, what I wanted to say about the bullet journal is that I wish I had found this a long time ago. I could have saved myself a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money, and I don't know, it was just the best thing that I've ever done for myself. Before I get into what the bullet journal is, the bullet journal is a rapid log form of planning. Okay, and if you're not familiar with a rapid log form of planning, I left a link at the bottom here, and you can take a look at it. It's mainly a system that was invented by Ryder Carroll, and it's a rapid form of planning because pretty much you can make your own logs, you can do your own planning, you can set it up the way you want it to have it set up. There is no wrong way of setting up a bullet journal. Okay, so I left a link down the bottom there, and if you're interested, just go to bulletjournaling.com and just click on that, and then you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now, in that video and on that site, he gives the basics, Ryder Carroll does, of how a bullet journal system works and how he does his bullet journal system. Now, I know you guys have probably seen different kinds of layouts, different things that people have done, and all the artistic part of the bullet journaling system. I'm gonna tell you this much: I'm not a super artistic person, but after being in my bullet journal for the length of time that I've been in, since February, by the way, I wanted to give this a really good try before I came on with a video for it, which I will occasionally do videos for my bullet journal. I wasn't artistic until I actually sat down and started really looking at my bullet journal, and I decided, you know what, why not give it a try? Okay, now there are a lot of people who are not artistic like that. I mean, I've seen some beautiful spreads. I've seen all kinds of spreads from just regular to just super elaborate. I mean, they're beautiful spreads, and don't get me wrong, but for me, I had to kind of take a step back for a little bit and work with what I had, which was pretty much a little next to nothing artistic ability. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and show you my spreads. I'm going to be flipping through. Some of the pages are pretty private, so I'll kind of cover my hand or whatever, or till I master getting the blur on my video. So as you can see, these two stickers here, I put these stickers on myself. I wanted to see how long it would take for these stickers. I don't know, I'll give you a close-up, and it kind of wore out over time. And plus, if you look at my bullet journal, it's been used. You can see, I mean, since February I've had this of this year. And I mean, the back and everything, I mean, for the most part, this band right here, it keeps its elasticity. It's a very nice band. You can put a pin in it if you want to. I've seen some people do this with their bands and then put a pin in it like so. That's how they run around with their bullet journals. And then I've seen some people who carry different pouches and stuff like that, which I'll show you later. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. And this is a Langtrum 1917 journal. Now, the official bullet journal, which I'm going to also show you here, is it comes in this color, but it's got bullet journal across it right here, and it's embedded, I guess, what you would call, inside of the bullet journal. And I'm going to show you that. But there's only two colors that comes like that, and the rest of them are just your regular Langtrum. The difference between that is the embedded bullet journal. It says bullet journal in the middle, right in the center, and then you'll have 1, 2 of these on your regular Langtrum. So that's the difference. The official bullet journal has 3, which I'll show you that. So I started this out, and I started it out pretty much putting the keys. And I'm laughing right now because I did not stick to all of these. I don't know. I kind of had my keys from when I used to own a Franklin planner. And so I use those instead because I've been using a Franklin planner for over 20 years. And then they stopped making what I wanted. And then I went to the Erin Condren, and I still stuck to the same system even in there as far as my, things that are. And then I went from the Erin Condren to the Get to Work book, and then now the bullet journal. I finally found something that works for me. So all of them come with an index, and this index is where you index everything that you want to see later on. So pretty much it's almost like, okay, like 1 and 2, year at a glance. So I go to pages, and all the pages are numbered. I go to pages 1 and 2. Now my year at a glance did not spread across 2 pages. Okay, like I said, this is the beginning when I first started. And so here is page 1. And I'll go ahead and zoom in here so you can kind of get an idea. So here is page 1, and then here is page 2. So 2, there you go. So let me see if I'll zoom out a little bit more so that way you can see the whole thing all at once. And so that's pretty much what I had here for the future log. Now I'm still indexing, as you can see. I'm going to not only index things that are important that I want to refer to. Some of the indexing you'll see that I'll have things like a journal, and this is what I liked about it, because the bullet journal, not only can you just write your days in it, but you can also journal in it at the same time. So that's the future log. On page 3 I have my brain dump. And then I have my future log. Well, unfortunately for me, I gave up the future log. And I'll tell you why. Because I didn't like the way I started it. So I just went ahead and just ditched it. But when I start over to my new bullet journal, which is pretty soon, it looks like I'm only going to be able to fit July in this one, and then that's it. I decided to go ahead and just include the future log in that one. But here I have books to read. Now I did this bookshelf. And yes, there's enough space for me to write in because I can write really small in there, and I can put the title. So as far as books to read, to be honest with you, I've only completed 2 books. I forgot to put the title in there, but I'll put that title in there this year, which is shameful for me. It really is, because I am a reader and I don't know what was going on. And then I have, okay, so let me explain what these are. These are called collections. And so my first collection, which you would see here, I'm sorry, and I should have said that, is my brain dump. That's my first collection. My second collection was my future log. And then my next collection here is books to read. And this is what you do for bullet journals. You can keep lists and collections. And then my next one I have here is called Bible Studies. This is what I've studied. Now, I've studied more than one in Bible study. I just didn't mark it down in here. I'm up to 3. This one's a pretty fat one, so I had to really take my time with this Bible study. And then I have scripture quotes here, and these are scriptures that I want to remember. So I have those there. That's another collection that I have. Then I have my goals. And I drew this. Yes, I did make these banners. And yes, it took me forever at first to make these banners. But now I know how to make these banners without a problem. And practice makes perfect. So I got all kinds of stuff in here. I got travel, my goals, get a bullet journal down packed, which I did. I have travel to Italy, go to Agate Beach, which is here in California. And then over here I got more goals. All goals are good. You just need to get to them. go get them. I have my 25th anniversary, which is coming up next year. Get a new car radio because my car radio is dead. Visit lighthouses, build Ed's cleaning service. That was my husband's business, and so we got that on board there. And find a travel friend, some goals. I got some scrapbooking ideas on my next collection here. And I did a giveaway. I already did that. I didn't do anything too much of anything else in here. And then I have stamp ideas here, which is pretty much drawing ideas, pretty much. Savings tracker. I did not fill this out. But you can do that. And so this is just letting me know what I need in my next one and what I don't. And this is definitely something I'm not going to put in my next bullet journal, which is a savings tracker. And I'm definitely not going to put stamping ideas in here at all. And then 25th anniversary, I was supposed to be working on some ideas for that. And this collection is definitely being transferred because our 24th anniversary is coming up this year. So I'm definitely moving this forward so I can start planning and working on that. I thought I was going to start planning and working on it earlier, but now I'm going to start that. And then we have what we call pretty much our calendar here. Now this is the rapid system, okay, where you list the days of the week, and I've messed up like 3 or 4 times when I first started doing this. And if you look closely, you can see where the whiteout was, or the whiteout tape. Now I don't care about that. I really don't. A lot of people do. They don't like the white, but it's not really all that bad. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, I don't care because it just whites out everything and it's still white. And some people want like a cream colored whiteout, but I mean, actually, I don't really care about that. So, and then I have this is all blocked off here with this arrow that I drew because I just started the bullet journal. So I purchased my bullet journal on February 12th of 2017, and that's when I started using it pretty much. And then I have my major task list that I want to kind of like, this was another collection. I had that. And then I had a time log. Well, I decided to ditch the time log automatically because I don't like the time log. And so I didn't. And this is a tracker. And this is how I did my tracker at first. This is all blocked off because I didn't get my bullet journal, like I said, until then. And then I started using it. And this is how I started. Now, keep in mind, this is the beginnings of my bullet journal. And then we go into my planning. I started with this right here, which is a time log here at the top to keep track of my appointments and times and AM and PM and stuff like that. I started with that, which I did for a while, and I thought if I made it a habit, I would eventually use it. Well, you'll see later on that I did not use it. And as you can see, I didn't develop the system either, so we're going to skip all of that. So this is the beginnings of my bullet journals, and I started learning how to write really nicely with my faux calligraphy as well, as you can see. So like I said, some of the stuff is private, so I'm just going to cover it with my hand. But you can see that here I have the crop, like 2017, and I went to that crop, and that crop was in Salt Lake City with the Scrap Gals retreat. So that's what I did for that. And then here is my first mood mandala. Now, in case you don't know how to read a mood mandala, each circle that you draw is a day. So it starts out here, and then you make a number, the number of rings you make for that day. So because I got this February the 12th, I started February the 12th and went to February the 20th. I think we had 28 days in February this year. And then we had the little code here, which you can put down, each ring represents what you are. So you got the happy, and those little numbers are the number of the Tombow markers that I use, so that I remember which one I used instead of guessing. So that's what I did with that. So you got happy, excited, relaxed, productive, angry, sad, grateful, stressed, okay, disappointed. Well, I guess the last day of the month of February, I was disappointed. I have no clue why, but this kind of lets you know what your moods are. Now, I didn't like this mood mandala because what I noticed about it is I didn't have enough happies in it. As you can see, I have one day this month where I was happy, which is ridiculous. So I decided, but I had some productive days. I decided that I was going to change that up myself. This helped me a lot in more ways than you can imagine. I drew all of these little flowers and things and the little designs and stuff in it myself. So, and this is kind of like doodling for me. And here's where it takes its turn at. So I got another self-care list. I got pros and cons list. That's private. I'm going to flip that over. And so then it's my weekly spread. Okay, my first weekly spread. Now, I didn't do the weekly spread when I first got it. So I started my weekly spread on February the 19th and went down here. Now, this is all of my stuff that I do. Now, these are the to-dos. This is business. This is, design team commitments, which I had there, and then some goals. And then the vines, as you can see, I drew the vines. So we're going to go ahead and flip the page. And like I said, some of the stuff is private, but I'm going to kind of flip through pretty quick. And then you have you know, the days. And here's where you can see the timeline, and then my weather icons start coming into play. I started putting my weather icons down, which I thought was pretty cool. That was neat. And then you can see here, I started putting my weather icons still and things like that. The timeline, you can still see that still going, and it's going here and here. And then Tuesday. And now I have a recap for February. I thought this would be a good thing to do. As you can see, I started getting into some of the things, the doodling, because I realized I can doodle. I know how to doodle. I've been doodling all my life, so I can do that. And so that's what I started doing. And then I adopted, and here's another, there's March. March starts here, and then one line a day. And then here's another tracker that I had. And then you can put whatever you want in your tracker. See, so I started the tracker here. I didn't like this tracker. So, gratitude, you can see I've doodled, and I started doodling. I used the gratitude page to practice my doodling. So by the time March started hitting, I started getting better with my doodling, as you can see. And then here is my biggest mandala, my mood mandala, my first really big one, as you can see. This one turned out great and awesome. I really loved how this turned out. Oh my gosh, I was ecstatic once I was done with it, and I actually kept up with it. And as you can see, I have more happy days, you know, in this one this time. I still need to work on that. I had some stress days. And I've had one angry day. I don't know why. And that's what I had. So I did pretty good with that. And then here's where I start taking, my handwriting started improving even more so, which I'm loving. And my weather icons. And then I have, well, this is private, so we'll change that. That's journaling. So whenever what I do is I make a dash. Anytime you see a dash, this is where I make my journaling. Anytime when you see me draw something, that's another day, and you'll see that in a second. And then here I had a spring cleaning list, which I did stick to, and I did do that, so I need to check that off. Jeez, man, I didn't check that off good enough. I did all of that already because I had to clean each bedroom, room and closet, bedroom. I mean, I did that. That was spring cleaning. I cleaned out my closet. Oh my gosh, it took hours. Oh, never do that again. Anyway, so you can see my weather icons are getting better. And then you can see right here I have the sun. And then these little lines that you see right here are my windy. It was windy. It was sunny, windy, and rainy that day. Or cloudy and rainy, actually. I don't know why I didn't put the raindrops. And then as you can see, there's another weekly spread. So I'm getting into the groove here with this, and you can see I have meetings, and this is what I like about the bullet journal, is you can actually stop within the week, in the middle of the week, and put some notes in for a meeting. I couldn't do that with my regular planner. So, and then you have some more days here, and then you have more, and then another weekly spread, and then a nice drawing here. And then you can see I have a practice page. Now this practice page, this is where I started getting into really practicing my handwriting, as you can see. I tried to make sure that I continue to practice, and so I use my bullet journal to practice. Just take a practice page, and you know, you're not messing up anything, you're not ruining anything. And then the next day I started my days again. So there you have it right here. So you have Tuesday there. And then this, I decided to try to do a border for journaling, but I didn't like it because it took up too much space. So I just stuck with the dash line. Now this is what I like about the bullet journal. Here I have my do-it-yourself hair and body moisturizer. I have 2 or 3 different recipes for that stuff, and I was able to just put it here in the bullet journal. And what I did was, if you look at page 61, page 62, and page 63, when I go back to my index, which is what I'm loving, is I have 61 through 63 indexed hair and body homemade moisturizers and shampoo. So I can always refer back to this page if I need to and find it. And that's the biggest key for me about this bullet journal, is finding what I wrote instead of guessing. So if I need to remember an important week, day, or even a month, I would definitely mark it in my index. Anything that's important. And my collections as well. So that's what I'm trying to get over with the bullet journal. This has changed my life. It's changed my life because I'm consistently in it. And as you can see, I'm making different starting with my drawing, getting good with that. And then I made a little flag right here. And so I'm starting to get better at my handwriting and my clouds, my weather icons, I should say, and dividing up my days, you know, with the different things. And then here is a practice. I got to cover that up because that's private. Here's my practice mandala. So I practice makes perfect is what I wrote down here so that I can remember that. And so that's what I did with this. And then I have my days still. I'm still going and I'm still going strong. Another weekly spread. And my days and days. And then this is basically private. So I'll cover that up. And those are contacts that I can't expose. Sorry. But here you have Monday and Tuesday. And I just got some, you know, some things done here, and I'm just this is like I said, collections, you know, in things you can stop and put like what I had put there, which I couldn't show you, but it was kind of like some information on my husband's business, and then like I said, you can journal. Like here, you see the dashes, and then I journal, and then I put, well, I had an interesting day. Blah, blah, blah. I took my son to work, la, 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 la. So that's pretty much, you know, the stuff that I journal. There's something important in here that you know, that I might want to flash back to, or I just kind of just document what I did that day. So here's another spread. Here's my April spread. And as you can see, my drawings are getting better, and it's starting to get a lot neater. My writing is improving. I mean, this is what I was explaining about this. It's just, wow. I am just ecstatic about it. Here's another tracker, and I decided to go ahead and use this tracker, and I used this all the way to the end of the month. The X's mean I didn't do anything, as we all know, so I gotta make sure that I do that. I did another gratitude page to kind of pretty much just practice my doodling. I use my gratitude page for that, and that is my handwriting. It's actually getting much, much better. And then I got a self-care tracker. Well, with this self-care tracker, it was really cool. I loved it. This was, I think, the best tracker that I put in here. Unfortunately, after looking at this tracker, I realized I wasn't taking care of myself well enough. So I started doing that more often. This lets me know I really need to take care of myself. I really, really do. And then my codes are over here, of course, in line with the colors and what I need to do in each section. So I need to do that more often. Here is my Mood Mandala for the month of, I think this is April. Yes, it is. It's beautiful colors. They got a little lighter. I changed my colors for my Mood Mandalas. And that's for April. And then here's another April weekly spread. And my handwriting is, like I said, is getting a lot better. My drawings are getting better. My doodling is getting better. I started coloring in more stuff, like my little dividers for the days, and I call them borders, I should say. And then I have another weekly spread, and I have a to-do and the business and things like that, which is my husband's business, just getting some stuff together for that. And then April, this is all of April. April, I was pretty busy, but I still kept up in my bullet journal. So that's private because that's a journaling area. And so sometimes I have small journaling areas, and then sometimes I have big ones, which is that one. So as you can see, my weather icons are still going strong, and I still have a lot to do, to go, I should say. And then I'm just flipping through to show you kind of like some of the stuff. I'm going a little faster now because this is all of April. We don't need to really do this. And I'm going to skip this one because this one's a huge journaling page, and I don't that one. And here's another weekly spread for the month of April. And I just did a little half mandala, kind of like going off the page mandala. I thought that would be pretty cool and colorful. And then this is also, says when I left for Utah, which was 1:30 crop time. Crop time, I was gone. That was so much fun. And then, oh, that's another big journaling, which I just covered that one because it's private. And then here's more stuff here. And then I decided to try the timeline on the side. Didn't like it. I started drawing some arrows. Started kind of getting into that. Still working on my handwriting. Journaling. Crop page designs. This is when I was at the crotch page. How I need to do the different designs for my crop page. Saturday at the Scrap Gals Retreat, And then I wrote some notes and the Selfies 101 by Tiffany, Tracy's class, relationships, and she talked about that. This is some of the notes, and this is what I liked about the bullet journal. I could stop my day and insert any notes that I have and still get back on track with things like that. And then this is some ideas I just kind of sketched out for my next bullet journal page. And here's where I started practicing the brush script. Now, it looks horrible right here. And I had to practice and practice and practice and practice. It took me hours to get that brush script down. Anyway, so here's May month. And then we have another mood mandala, which I really like this one as well. The mood mandalas are really cool. I really do like those. And then another weekly spread into May. Now, oh, this is another journaling. I think I have to cover this one up. Yes, I do. Sorry, guys, I have to skip that. Now, I wasn't confident, and this is hair care products and stuff. I wasn't confident on my brush script writing. So, and then here's some designs I just started to just dribble down. So I started getting better and better at my drawing. As you can see, this is practice. That's all it takes is practice. Even if you're drawing a stick figure, it doesn't really matter. And then this is kind of me working out my schedule and what my schedule is going to be like, because I have to incorporate some yoga, you guys. And I don't like yoga, but my physical therapist told me that I needed some yoga. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. I make it sound like a bad thing, but it's really not. And so here's my weekly spread for May. And if you noticed, May is skipped. Now, the reason why so much of May got skipped is because I was sick when I got back from the Scrap Gals Retreat. I got really sick with a virus, and I was down for almost 2 weeks straight. So it jumps from pretty much... It starts, I was sick, and you can see I marked it down here because I started getting sick here, and I get sick, and I didn't even do a weekly spread for the next week, which was fine. That's my journaling. And I didn't even do everyday spreads. I went from 8th to 9th, and then it skips, and it goes to the 10th and 13th, so I skipped from the 10th to the 13th. I started feeling a little bit better because I can tell because I started doodling. And then I did my weekly spread here from the 14th to the 20th. And then you could see I started feeling better. Now, I still haven't mastered that brush script down just yet. I'm still practicing on that. That's why you don't see it in here just yet. But the beauty about the bullet journal is that you can, you can skip, and you don't have to worry about having blank pages. You can just pick up where you left off. And my planners, I was having blank pages here and there, and it can become distracting, and you won't even like it. So pretty much this is, the May and cleaning. So here's where I started incorporating my brush script. Right around in May, I started practicing more. Here's one of the spreads that I really love. I started doing more of shadow boxes type of deal things. And I started doing the weekly spread a little bit differently. And I drew these flowers. I started getting into it. I had a book on how to draw. And then I started doing the brush script. And I still got the timeline, of course. These are some of the stuff that I was doing. And then I started practicing. And, I started practicing more on the brush script. As you can see, it's starting to look better. I got more shadow boxes. This is the brush script. And then I started doing more of the brush script. I started getting it down, and this is some of the. I've made a note on some of the classes that I needed to get done and get them done, and then print out the pages that go with it. And then this is private, so this is my brush script. And then I got this new compass. Ideas was supposed to go here, but I decided to use this page to practice that new compass that I have, which I'll show you that as well. And then we have another weekly spread with the shadow boxes. And then here is my new mood tracker. I used balloons instead. And then here's my gratitude page, which I only did a few things. I learned how to draw a book. I did a bigger popcorn bucket. And my brush script started getting better and better. It started getting better. This is Boho Berry's challenge, and I'm going to leave a link to her. I started drawing more arrows. I started drawing better icons. I started drawing better borders to separate the days. Like I said, the dashes are to separate my task to my journaling. I put a little bit of journaling. I started doing more borders, more brush script. I mean, I really started getting some stuff done. And this is online notes that I took. So I stopped my days and went in and I dated my notes for this. So some of these are, you know, I don't want, that's a surprise. So I just started doing more borders. As you can see, I'm still doing the weather icons, and we're still doing some of the borders, and I've got borders down, and that's private, so we'll cover that up. And I started doing more arrows. As you can see, I started getting more into the creative part of the bullet journaling. Here's another weekly spread. This is really cool. I really like this weekly spread because of the rainbows, and then the banners I used this time. And I used half banners, as you can see. And I did draw these banners. Like I said, I'm getting better with that. And then more borders and things like that. So basically, these are blog ideas, which I don't want you to see those yet because you're not supposed to see those. But I do have what collections I'm going to keep. So these are the collections that I'm going to keep. I made a note on what I'm going to do with that. And so that way I can know what to transfer into my new bullet journal. And these are more shadow boxes with the different colors, and then more borders. So I'm starting to really get into making my borders to separate my days, which is starting to get real colorful, guys. So we're up to today. And so that's pretty much it. Today is Friday. We're up to the 23rd, and I'll have more collections going on, some of the stuff. And I have a little bit of pages left. This will take care of the rest of June and then July. And then so for August, I'm moving into, that is my bullet journal. I am moving into my new Lantrum, the black one here. I opened it once and I didn't want it to get dusty because where I live at, everything gets dusty, guys. So I'm opening this now permanently because it's almost time for me to move over. I'm going to start working on some collections and put in this one this weekend. My new official bullet journal, and this is what I meant by embedded, the official black bullet journal. And this one has, I like this one because it has the key right here. It tells you what to do. You still got your name and contact and tips on getting started, and then the index is different, but it's still an index here in the front. And then your future log would go here. It's already, you know, kind of let you know where to put your future log, which is perfect. And then future log. So if you have 2 pages of future log, which I'm going to do, I'm going to use 2 pages for my future log. And then you start your planning. And then in the very back, this bullet journal has, the original bullet journal has the system down, introduction, the system on rapid logging, and things like that in the back, the event, the note planner, and all kinds of good stuff. And migration tells you what that is, which I haven't adapted migration yet, guys, because I just use arrows when I need to transfer things. And then you have a little pocket in the back, which I didn't show you my other one. I kind of decorated that one, which I'm going to do the same for this one. And then some stickers to put on the front of your bullet journal and the back. And then this here, I forgot what that was called. I'll probably have it written down, but a spine, the spine of your bullet journal. So when you go to archive it. So that is my bullet journal in a nutshell. I am moving on to this black one. I am loving this. This is the best thing ever. Oh, and I forgot to show you, get 3 of those divider thingies here in the bullet journal. You get 3. 1, 2, 3, which I think is pretty cool. A black one, a gray one, and a white one. So those are all in there. And this time I'm going to try my best to keep mine flat because I think curled up my other ones. I love the bullet journal. I love the pages. I love the simplicity of this whole entire thing. I love the fact that I can throw this in my purse. I have a backpack purse now because I can't wear a purse on my left shoulder, so I have to have a backpack purse which distributes its weight evenly. So with that, that's it. And I'm sorry this video took so long, but then I'm going to, so stay tuned for part 2. I'm going to show you some of the pens and things that I use for my bullet journaling because I don't want these videos to be too long. So anyway, so stay tuned for part 2.